Once. And we're live.
Yeah. All right. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, trophy hunters of all ages. This is the 16th episode of the Raw Cuts Gaming Podcast.
Whee!
Woo!
Where's Woods?
I don't know. We can do this.
Oh, wait,
shit.
hold on. You can't see me?
No, you're off a video.
No.
Fucking technical difficulties right out the gate.
Technical difficulties out the ass, but no,
I'm there.
have no fear
Wait,
because
can you see me now?
no. But that being said, I'm your host tonight, CJ, aka the Solo Gamer, aka the Trophy Hunter.
Woo!
Tonight, I'm joined by Mr. Clothing Optional himself. As always, he's definitely not a noob, Big D, aka the Naked Gamer.
Naked off.
And we are now joined by Woods. You missed your drop-in, man. The hot taken, Twitter beef making, gamer mediocre, Woodsy, aka the man, aka
The long rod sucker. Look at him coming to you in
Nice
HD.
video.
Fucking 1080p over there.
He's in HD. It's all good, man.
Fucking love it.
Thank you, the listener, for tuning in and hearing the rarest takes in the gaming podcast here. As always, we bring you our own unique takes on all things video games, all while recording and publishing our shows edit-free, as you can tell by the start of this episode. We'll be bringing you our podcast via all the podcast listening staples every Tuesday. You can find us on Apple, Spotify, Google. There's a whole slew of other ones we won't get into.
Please do find us. Please encounter us in some
Please.
fashion.
But like,
Please.
subscribe, and share. If you could share it with your friends, that'd be great. Go on your folks' phone, subscribe on there. Any way you can, we get the numbers up. If you'd also want to watch us for whatever reason, right now we're live on YouTube, and you can find the shows on the Raw Cuts Gaming channel. So there's lots of different ways to track us down if need be. This week, as always, we'll be bringing you what we've been playing, the whole slew of gaming news, a little trophy hunter on some Spider-Man action, and any updates on Woodsy's Pile of Shame.
A pile of shame voting, too. We got that. It's now decided.
Ooh, there's a little teaser for y'all for later. So, that being said, let's get into what we're playing. Big D, what you been playing, man?
Oh, shit. All week? What haven't we played? I want to say we kind of tickled all of them this week. I know there was Rocket League involved. We hopped into Modern Warfare. We played co-op and multiplayer and Warzone. Let's see. We did Fortnite. We got a Fortnite Royale. Or the Nightmare Royale. Nightmare Royale.
You got a victory Royale, too. Squad
and we got a victory,
Royale.
yeah. So
With
we
our
were
friend
kicking some
Ryan.
ass there. Ryan and I played some Overwatch because Woods hasn't installed it yet, like a little bitch.
Have you bought Overwatch, Woods? Is that on your pile of shame?
It's got to be in there somewhere. I
It's
feel like you
shockingly
bought
not.
it.
I didn't. I keep thinking I own it, but I actually don't. So the next time it actually goes on digital sale, I'm going to have to actually buy it. 'Cause I'm silly.
Yeah, that was me.
All right. Woodsy, what have you been playing, man?
So didn't get down with Genshin Impact this weekend or this past week, and really not Gran Turismo, which is usually one of my staples. But I did play a lot of FIFA. I did play a game called Donut County, which is a lot of fun. Actually, it's like an arcade game where it's like almost like Katsumari. I'm gonna murder that title of that game, but Katsumari Damatsu, which was basically a game where you roll around the map and you keep like absorbing things, and you become this giant sphere with the I guess objective of taking over certain portions of the map. Well, this is sort of the opposite of that. You start off as this little hole that, when you put it underneath stuff in the level, stuff drops into like this cavernous abyss in the middle of the earth. And as you consume things with the hole gets bigger, so on and so forth. And so each level is somewhat like a little puzzle too. And you have to, certain things when they drop in your hole, they shoot fire, or they'll like do other effects that you have to use to solve the level to eventually suck up everything in the little level. It's pretty fun, pretty cool, and the art style's simple but rad. Played all the same stuff Dee was talking about, and then as I have been playing what is so for. We'll just give the update now for the Pile O' Shame voting. Ended in a stalemate between Murdered Soul Suspect and Sniper Elite 3. So I thought about doing both, but then that would just prohibit, like, the start of another poll. So I have made the executive decision to go with Sniper Elite 3. I did so because I played Sniper Elite 2, really loved it, and I have been playing a bunch of Sniper Elite 3. I think I'm only through the first 2 levels, though. So we can get into that more later, possibly. But otherwise, I'll do a live stream, or try to do a live stream at some point this week.
Nice.
So everybody can check that out. And I know you guys said that you probably have that game, so we could perhaps play together. I actually think you can play that game in co-op.
Is
was a free game.
The multiplayer?
Yeah, I think but I think it's free co-op.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
We should give that a go if in fact that is the case. So, I love that. I do like the best thing if you guys if you haven't played Sniper Elite, it's I'll just get into it later. Sorry. We'll go.
Okay.
We'll discover that more later.
Sounds good, man. So Sniper, okay, sounds good. So I've been playing. I finally, like I mentioned last week, it scratched the itch of Fortnite. So I have not been playing Fortnite other than playing with you two guys. We did get our Victory Royale, like Dee mentioned earlier, so that was pretty sweet. And I've also just been hammering through more Final Fantasy VII Remake. I just crossed through chapter 10 in the story, so just a little over halfway. Went through this whole wall market that's like underground of Midgar, where the main game takes place, and it's this whole like red light district type place where you do all sorts of crazy stuff. And I'm thoroughly enjoying that game, and I just kind of am coming to the realization that this is probably going to be my last PlayStation game that I play on my PlayStation 4. So next week the new PlayStation 5 comes out, obviously, as we're recording this episode now. So PS5 hype, there's going to be plenty of center coming around that coming up in this episode, but kind of coming to grips with the realization that this bad boy is being put to rest. And I think Final Fantasy VII is kind of a good send off for this console for me. So like I mentioned, about halfway through. I've got a grand total of about 10 days or so until the next console comes in. So I'd like to kind of power through and finish the game. I probably won't be able to platinum it by that time.
A week from Thursday now.
From Thursday, yeah. So.
And if you're an Xbox person, it's a week from tomorrow.
Tomorrow, yeah. Tuesday, yeah. So the episode drops in a week from tomorrow. So next gen, get the hype. I did grow my personal pile of shame. There was a pricing error at Walmart, and I was able to snatch up Miles Morales for a solid $20. So I was pretty stoked about that.
Did they cancel anything? I saw that they fixed it.
We should really discuss this concept of pile of shame, because I personally believe that you have a different pile for each system and or platform. So you're just starting your collection. That's all that is. There's no shame in that, baby.
I was getting ready to argue with that point, but I like where the thread is headed, so I will go with that. So it's a pile of one right now.
Yeah.
They cut off. They did cut off all the pre-orders in about an hour or so. but I have not gotten any cancellation, and
Hmm.
part of my shipment shipped from Walmart or whatever. So,
Did you pre-order any other games for your PlayStation?
not yet. I am going to be pre-ordering Demon Souls, and I
Of
will
course.
probably go with the full price game on that. I did get Spider-Man on the disc, which is part of the reason why I got the disc version, because the pricing error happened to be on the physical version of the game. I want to go as digital as possible, but
Yeah.
it's part of the game you play.
We've discussed that.
But-
It's not ready yet
Yeah.
to go all digital. It's just
right,
not
right.
there.
But part of the reason why I bring up the pricing errors is just kind of keep an eye out for all these Wario 64s of the world, cheap ass gamer, because another thing that just is going on right now, it's a deal going on, not a pricing error, but CD Keys, as Woodsy has tweeted out, is running a deal for PlayStation Plus for $30.
Still,
Rumor is it's still going
Yeah,
forward.
and they still are, and there's
Yeah.
another website which is actually even cheaper.
good
I'll
lord.
throw that
Yeah,
up
I
in the
snatched that up a month
Sure.
ago already.
Yep,
Um,
I think we
so
all
yeah,
know.
if you-
My brother, Alex, loyal listener of the show, also just signed up for 3 years of PlayStation Plus because
Yeah,
he was pretty
I'm good till
stoked for the full
2025.
price. Yeah.
Well,
so you
to
just
be
kind of
fair,
watch out
though,
for these.
it's a smart. I mean, if you plan on existing in the PlayStation ecosystem for the next generation, it's a smart investment now because it's a good bet the annual price for that service will go up in the next 5 years.
The rumor is it's going up to $80. So there's usually deals going on. Usually people don't pay full price, but if you auto renew on your credit card or whatever, it's easy to let that lapse if you don't stack your.
Mhm.
I made that mistake once.
Yep, I have too. So.
Yes, I have to.
So yeah, so that's all what I've been playing. So let's get into the news, guys. This past week, the embargo partially lifted on the PlayStation 5. So we touched on last week the PlayStation 5 is going out in the wild, but now some more news kind of drip feeding out. The first impressions of the new controller, the DualSense, are starting to roll out. And rumors from everyone that's playing it saying it's a complete game changer. I think Jason Schreier or someone, I don't remember exactly who it was, I don't want to credit the wrong person, but they said that there's 2 next-gen consoles coming out, but one truly game-changing controller. So what have you guys heard about the new DualSense controller? You guys excited for that at all? Or
Yeah, homie. I think I read the same thing you did. Just the intense level of feedback and all the different things you're going to be able to do with that thing. I mean, it's pretty exciting, and if you think about it from a tech perspective, unless you got like a modded controller, the stock stuff that's come with a PlayStation or an Xbox, there hasn't really been much technological improvement over the last 2, I want to say 3 and 4,
right?
pretty much the same.
Yep. Touchpad and a couple other little.
Yeah,
bumps,
oh yeah, the
not much.
touchpad.
Yeah.
That never really got me excited. Typing with that thing fucking blows, and they never really integrated it much into games. So
It's nice when it's like a big button to bring the map up, but that's about it.
right. If they'd integrated that a little more, like Fortnite, you could trace where you wanted to go and hit it again or something. Like,
oh really?
You could have done some cool shit with it, but no one ever did.
So, some games use it well, but most don't.
Yeah. One of the they have
I love it for 2K because I can change my defense just by swiping up, left, right.
Yeah.
Various
Yeah.
styles of
That's
zone,
good. That's good
command,
integration. Yeah.
stuff like that.
That's true. Yep, you're right.
So some of the things, I mean, Astrobots, coming out, getting, pretty solid reviews of like, hey, this is a great tech demo. You can feel the sand, all the kind of the typical things. But one of the other things I wanted to touch on is some of the first impressions on Demon Souls are rolling out. And the way that they integrate the controller with that game is kind of how I assumed it would. But they were saying things even like, there's bow and arrows in that game, right? And the arrows, as they whiz past you, you can feel the arrow allegedly like flying past you in your hands. And it's like super unnerving when you feel that. And then like you feel like, it's a sword and shield game for the most part, and there's some magic obviously, but you feel the metal on metal striking. Like you hitting a shield, it feels like you're hitting a metal shield.
That's crazy,
every single person who has had this thing in their hands is like, it's comfortable, it feels solid, it's still lightweight, and the haptic feedback and rumble system that they got cooking in there, everybody's saying it's a game changer. Same with the stick, the triggers, and I believe that it's something that's very hard to fully describe how amazing it is, given the feedback that people have been talking about it with, right? Just by, you have to experience it, I think, to truly understand what all these people are talking about. I feel like it's like almost a VR situation. Yeah. So I'm excited for that. And I know we had touched on in a previous episode, like had a debate about, was it anti-consumer move for Sony to not allow the DS4 to work with the PlayStation 5. And I think that the answer isn't necessarily yes or no, but the reason, which is something I completely agree with, especially now after these reviews have come out, is they're really trying to push the envelope and expand the experience and grow that part of the video gaming platform, which really hasn't had a lot of revolutionary anything.
Correct.
That wasn't beyond a gimmick, like the light bar and the touchpad.
Yeah, VR.
In years. I mean, the biggest technology to come to controllers in the last decade and a half has been like better. Well, since PlayStation 3, Bluetooth and lithium-ion
the Rumble
batteries,
and
right? And this is, and people are talking about comparing it to the haptic feedback on like your Switch or your awesome iPad or whatever, right? And like everybody's saying, like this is even something different. It blows the Switch controllers out of the water.
Yeah.
And just nothing compares to it. So I'm very hyped to go over to CJ's house and check that out.
I think we're all going to be over there.
Yeah. Live unboxing.
Yeah, we will have some content on that when the time comes. But yeah, I'm pretty stoked for it also, and I definitely see why they're pushing this controller. Graphics and fidelity and whatnot can only take you so far. I mean, they're going to keep pushing that envelope, but the fact that they're looking to change your experience in other ways other than gimmicky ways, like actually something in your hands you have to have in your hand, is kind of a neat idea. I'm glad they're pushing that on.
It's another thing for Sony that developers can take advantage, even third-party developers, and Sony can continually tout games feel better on the PlayStation 5 or whatever else, right? Feel more real or some marketing bullshit.
Yeah,
but that's what they're going to do with it, and that's
that line is very slim.
If they would have allowed the DualShock 4 to work with all your PlayStation 5 games on your PlayStation 5. Then most developers would have been like, why would we go in on this?
Well, do extra steps to make that awesome. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. No, it's definitely pretty cool. Some other fun things coming out about the PlayStation 5. A good positive momentum is all the accessibility features that they seem to be baking into the console. Xbox has come out and been phenomenal with their accessibility. They have that accessibility controller where it's just like completely customizable, and everyone in that community seems to really have positive feedback towards it. And the question's always been, where is Sony at, with it? And that controller technically works on the PlayStation, and it will work on the PlayStation 5 also. But PlayStation doesn't have their answer to the Xbox's accessibility controller, and they still don't. However, a lot of the accessibility features, including like voice dictation, color correction, custom button mapping, you can do it universally as opposed to in-game. So a lot of times those things are kind of, you have to go into the game, find the setting, turn that setting on, see if it's even in there. A lot of times it's not. It's going to be universal, which makes things pretty cool. Do you guys
they actually do have that setting right now on the PlayStation 4. There's universal custom mapping that you can.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, you wouldn't unless you needed it for some reason.
Right. But did you guys see some of those accessibility things at all, Wizzy, or no?
I did, and I like the fact that it also is like based around your profile, whatever, and you can have several. I think I read somewhere that you can have several different profiles within a profile for controller schemes, because that was one of the reasons I did it for. Because I've been begging Sean Murray, please, Sean Murray, I don't want to sprint with R3 in No Man's Sky. Let me sprint with L3 like every other fucking game. So I changed it.
Oh yeah, that's weird.
And
so you made like a No Man's Sky profile?
Every single other game uses L3 to sprint.
Yeah.
So I had to change it the fuck back, and I'm just like, But
So you couldn't make up. Oh, so does Are you saying PS4 doesn't have the sub profiles where you could just flip it on?
Correct. You
Okay.
can't just like alternate it like real quick. You have to go back into this deep.
Yeah,
list.
yeah.
You have to
Then
go
you
back
have to
into the
undo it.
button mapping menu and undo it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's just.
Yeah, no, it's just a little
that's a cool
positive story
feature.
that that they're baking in these accessibility things. So
The more people who can enjoy the art that is video games, and more people that can really thoroughly actually enjoy it and not have to struggle through it because of whatever disability they may have, the better. So I mean, inclusion is always for the better. Period. No ifs, ands, or buts.
So we're all excited. Yep, absolutely. So speaking of begging for something, Woodsy has been begging for something recently. With all of the
Sure has.
PlayStation 5 unboxings, one key piece has been missing from all the unboxings: the infamous PS camera adapter. The camera is not compatible. The new camera is not compatible with your PSVR, so you need to have this special adapter for a multitude of reasons. You can find out why if you want to get into the technical nitty-gritty of it. However,
fucking adapter.
PlayStation announced that there would be an adapter to go with your camera. It is shockingly not in box. However, Woodsy, why don't you? I think Dee, you were also probably in on this also, but Woodsy was kind of raw ranting about this on some other various threads. Your experiences trying to track down your free PSVR adapter.
Yeah, I tried for 10 minutes and I gave up. But I think Woods got through, didn't you? On that website? What website was that? I think you guys put it in the doc.
The official PlayStation website is where it was actually.
Oh my god, really? That's embarrassing.
Yeah. So
that was terrible experience.
Yeah, it doesn't work. I haven't checked it in the last couple of days, but it doesn't or didn't work. So first, I think Thursday is when it was dropped, and it was like dropped through these weird
like back channels.
Yeah, back channels and not through the main PlayStation channel. Fucking jerks. And so you go to this website and you have to get the serial number off of like the box that
your PSVR,
your PlayStation VR and your PlayStation.
Yep, the box that the HDMI is all plugged into.
Yep. And you have to enter it on this website and go to enter it, and of course the website's not working properly. It fails, and then it tells you call customer service. So you call the customer.
Something you never want to do.
Right. And the first options are, it's like for PS5, click 1. For PS4, click 2. For PSVR, click 3. So I click 3. And it says immediately, sorry, due to increased call volume and COVID-19, we are unable to take your call at this time. Click.
Oh my god.
Click.
Okay. So what happens now? All right. So I call back and I'm like, well, I'm not going to get this message again. So instead of PlayStation VR, I clicked the PlayStation option, which I think was option 1. And within there, they have the sub menu for this adapter for the PlayStation VR. So I clicked that motherfucker. And then I get on the horn with some lady, a very nice lady, and trying to, I gave her my code. She's like, saying, hey, the website's not working. And I'm like, this is really weird because, like, on the phone it says, try this on the website while you're on hold for 20 minutes or whatever I was. And then it also on that whole thing was like, why don't you go to PlayStation Chat where you can find most of the answers, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, interesting, because your chat support has also been down for, like, ever. So none of that was helping, and all the weird stuff that was being suggested by their automated holding line wasn't helping.
Have you tried turning it off and on again?
So I text her, or I'm sorry, I'm talking to this lady, and she has to send in a special request for my adapter because I couldn't get it through the website, even though other people seem to have gotten it to work. So, but I still haven't gotten a confirmation email that I haven't had this thing acknowledged yet. So I don't think it's on the way.
Yeah, my guess would be that their actual internal deadlines for getting that thing to work is next week Friday.
Right.
And that's why they never officially announced it, because it's not supposed to be up and working yet. It's probably just a shell, and they're testing on it, and it's not working.
Well, but
Yeah.
it just goes back to just the heaps and heaps of terrible communication by PlayStation up and down the
It's also
line.
that.
Like, it's just ridiculous.
Yeah, they're a terrible, large corporate entity.
Yeah, it's embarrassing. It's like, you say it's going to be free. Well, how is it going to be free? Nobody knows. And then everybody's unboxing the shits. And I'm like, one thing I've noticed that is curiously and conspicuously absent is this free adapter. Where the fuck is it? And we had, speculated, okay, we're going to have to do a send away slip for it. Nobody knew. And then they finally sort of announced how you can do it via this process, and this process fails at every fucking possible juncture of the process flow. It's a real shit show. Fuck you, Sony.
Agree.
Yeah, so, yep, that also agree. So another shitty piece of news out of PlayStation is the infamous PlayStation 5. I mean, everyone saw this coming, but the third-party seller of these custom plates that came out right when this past week, there was the reds and the blues where you could order these custom plates. While PlayStation served them a cease and desist, saying you cannot sell these. So basically, which leads me to believe that PlayStation wants to sell you their Sony branded PlayStation plates. Did you guys see that they shut down those third-party sellers? Or
I did.
Yeah.
Did you read that, or what was the legal grounds for the cease and desist? It's just a hunk of shit that would clip onto your PlayStation.
Right. I didn't get into the nitty gritty, and then I saw another article that came out, and I wasn't sure maybe PlayStation had actually given a sort of official reason or whatever, but there was an article discussing why they did it. But I'm pretty sure the answer is money.
Well, yeah, of course, it's why. I understand the
is.
why. I was wondering the how, because usually,
Right.
even back in the day, there was shitloads of skin places
They're
where
saying
you could
something
go
about
get them, and
the
your phones have all
I
of
think
them.
it's because it's a physical hardware modification, technically, as opposed to a skin.
and they're saying the design.
If it'd be a
I think
sticker or
there's
something, it's fine.
Yeah.
Well, and like CJ's saying, the design itself is probably patented. The design of those panels.
Right. Yeah. So they're saying they're exactly right, Woodsy. So I'll be curious to see. I wouldn't be surprised if down the road we see a bunch of third-party things are cropping up here and there. But I also foresee the Sony
Mad Cats coming back. Mad Cats.
Right?
Well, one piece that wasn't touched on as much as the plates was, it is very simple to remove the black faceplate on the controller. So if you envision the controller, it's a white controller, right? And then it has that black kind of mouth
The middle
underneath it for
section?
the dog,
Yeah.
where the button or the sticks are.
Yeah,
It's super easy to pop off, and that's the little plate itself. So thoughts are that you're gonna be able to customize the
customizable,
controller
too.
colors also. So likely not only
Of
is Sony
course.
going to sell you plates, but also controller options, which
$50
does bring me to
each.
yeah. But it also brings me to the idea that PlayStation might have a design lab, which would be kind of cool. Xbox has that, which I'm pretty jealous of, where you can make whatever kind of colors and whatnot you want for your controllers,
Yeah.
and
You can just get them to print a picture or whatever on there, I'm assuming, too.
you can engrave it and all this other shit and whatever color options you want. So yeah. So
Goddamn, people have just way too much money. Like, go outside, for Christ's sake. I know it's a gaming podcast, but holy shit. Like, who's got all this time to engrave a fucking controller?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. Anyway, so that all being said, some other strange news of the week. PlayStation came out with their list of infamous 10 games that are going to not be backwards compatible for reasons unknown, which also gets the communication piece. And then Ubisoft came out this past week and said, "Hey, here's our games that are not backwards compatible with PlayStation 5, which include a pile of Assassin's Creed games, including Syndicate and the Chronicles, Star Trek Bridge Wars, Werewolves Within, among others." Where so that's a little disappointing to hear. The PlayStation said that the list wasn't finalized, but specifically Syndicate, which is the biggest by far of all the games. However, that being said,
there is a slight update on this. So apparently Ubisoft has now taken down the blog post listing those games. And in the statement to Engadget, the publisher said, and I should quote this is from comicbook.com, there may be inaccuracies involving the USB titles that will be playable on the PS5. So that doesn't mean they will work. That just means there may be inaccuracies.
Well, and that's exactly that's where the story gets weird, because I'm sure that list was vetted, prior to going out.
That's the list.
But then PlayStation kind of clapped back at them, I'm sure, saying, "Hey, what do you mean these games are not backwards compatible?" So it's a weird story. So
yeah, someone got a phone call.
Yeah.
Up in those upper decks.
The dancing funeral meme showed up at the Ubisoft office.
Here's what I want to know. Right? This is so by Sony printing and publishing that list of here's the games that won't work, and I don't recall it saying right now. Right? This was a fairly finite sounding list.
No, it said like
it was like here are the 5 games that won't work, and right?
List is pending to change or something. They did slap the little qualifier on there.
Yeah, but there was like 5 games on it that sucked, right? I remember what Woods was talking about.
Yeah,
but
I know.
But I guess like at what point do they get dangerously close to false advertising?
I mean, as long as
whenever you go over 1%.
Yeah, they said it was 4,000 plus games. They didn't give you a finite list on the games, and it said 99% or whatever that will work.
Right.
So,
and allegedly, you know what? It's always gonna
make
get bigger.
Work.
Like all they're gonna do is keep patching the OS, and more games will start working. It'll be fine.
Make it more.
Yeah, I mean,
so
yeah. So that was kind of the weird news of the week. And some other news of the week, Cyberpunk 2077 got delayed. Slightly weird news in that this game has gone gold. They did their famous gone gold.
Means nothing anymore.
It does mean nothing anymore, but it's something, it's a milestone for the devs to reach to. So that they hit that milestone, and then the day before this, the day before the delay came out, the poor social media team that was not informed of this delay was confirming up and down that, hey, this game is a firm release date. Which kind of sucks for them.
Like a week from now, right?
Yeah.
Like when it was supposed to come out, yeah.
Yeah. So people are like, hey, I'm going to take off work. And the guy's like, no, it's firmed, it's good to go. And then the next day, boom, the delay happens. And so the social media manager had a funny post. It was like something like, hey, do you think anybody would be upset if I delete this previous tweet or not? So they've just been getting shit on left and right. Allegedly, CD Projekt Red is a publicly traded company over in Poland, so they had some legal reasons where they couldn't share that with the rest of the team. But unfortunately, the social media team is just getting the brunt of it right now. So
well, and again, it's another terrible week for non-obsessive, normal people who are normal. Because all sorts of death threats and this, that, and the other thing. It's just like people are bitching about the fact people have the nerve to bitch about the fact that they took PTO for this shit and now have to readjust their PTO. And it's like, motherfucker, coronavirus. You're lucky you have a job and
Exactly.
paid time off to
And a home.
eat a big
Right.
fat dick.
Yeah, and how hard is it to redo your PTO? I mean, seriously.
Exactly.
Right.
And yeah, no, and they posted some of their death threats and things like this is the mild stuff we get, so it's just
Yeah.
people suck. And you know
And
what?
they're
I'd
dumb.
imagine a lot of those people aren't even probably taking time off. They're just bitching to bitch.
Right.
The old internet
And-
outrage, which
And
drives
let
me
me
nuts.
reiterate this one more time. If you are those people and you do follow us, eat a dick and fuck off. You can
That's right.
unfollow us and still eat dicks and still fuck off. You're a fucking poison.
And
Give
still
all
eat dicks.
of us a bad name.
Yep, and Woods
Hot
speaks for,
beef Twitter making.
no, that's not
gamer
even
extraordinaire.
no, that's
That's no
just
beef.
accurate. You speak for all
Yeah.
of us there. We are all in lockstep there. So, delayed to December 10th, so 3 weeks. And even then, they didn't seem very confident in hitting a December 10th date. Allegedly, it's the current gen versions that's the problem, not the next gen versions. So, I guess we'll see. A couple other games got delayed. Destruction All Stars. I touch on that because that's kind of another weird one where it was going to be a $70 game, and it was the game that one of the games that they semi showed off in that little PlayStation event that had people up in arms. But that being said, it got pushed to February, and it went from a $70 game to part of the PS Plus collection of that for a couple months or something. It gives you some time to snap that up. So, kind of interesting that they announced already that the $70 game is going to be the free game in February and March. But in case y'all are waiting for the Destruction All Stars, going to have to wait a little bit longer.
Well, I think they're going to try to make that into something, kind of giving it the time they did at the showcase for what really amounts like to look like a different take on like a Rocket League or a Destruction Derby type thing. So I think they're going to try to really make that into something.
Yeah, I mean,
So
that's
and it's a good strategy. The more you just give it away, and then let
Yeah.
the skin money pour in. I mean, it's worked for countless games now. So
Oh, yeah. Wait, tons.
right.
And they make way more than they do from literally anything else.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that really does start a trend because it's. I really love the ones that it's cosmetics only. Because
Activision Blizzard announced like yesterday that they made $1.2 billion the last quarter in DLC bullshit alone.
Yep, and their profit was 1.9. So it's big business for these guys. Which, and again, it's good because it's all the people that just have money to burn and they're funding all this shit for cosmetics.
And it's all
So-
cosmetic. It's not
Disposable.
in-game, right? In non-delay news, it's a little exciting news for the old Woodsy, Twitter beef making man himself. It appears that Gran Turismo is kind of honing in on a release date. This is one of your most anticipated games, is it not, of next gen?
Both of us.
Yes.
I'm picking that up too.
I'm
Both.
excited.
Oh,
D is
Oh, I
excited.
love
Yeah.
Gran Turismo. I just hated sport.
Yeah, that's right. So both you guys. So this is good news for both y'all. It looks like it's going to be releasing the first half of 2021, according to an ad, where they
Really kind of
lined
dropped that in the
footer, and it was in like
footer,
French or
right.
something. Yeah.
Well, I'm not going to hold my breath, though. It's Gran Turismo. Like, the game is notorious for long and frequent delays, so we'll see what happens.
Well, I mean, it gives you something to look for. I mean, a little morsel. It's now you have kind of an idea of when it's coming. So,
Well, because
allegedly
that'll be
coming
that's going to be one of the next gen showpieces too. So, like Wood said, if there's literally anything wrong, that one's going to get pushed because that's the one that I think you'll see that second push on the PS5 once that game comes out and they start having the screenshots and graphics reviews and all that stuff.
And shockingly for Sony, I mean, racing games are popular to an extent, but like, I believe that game is actually considered a console mover, which is a little bit crazy because, like, I'm pretty sure no other racing game can make that claim. I could be wrong, and I could have this thrown back in my face on Twitter, and please do if I'm wrong. But
Well, I would think a certain subset would buy Forza, like
sure,
as one of the reasons they're buying an Xbox. I could see that because they did do a nice job with that game.
yeah. Well, and if I was of that persuasion, I would definitely buy Forza because it's a fucking great game too. So both of them are, both Horizons and the regular Forza, and then you got GT.
So in Xbox, you guys touch on Xbox a little bit. Xbox's kind of crown jewel right now, 343 Studios lost another leader. They lost their director, the guy in charge of Halo Infinite, the game that was going to be releasing and had all the Craig memes come out, and
Oh,
the game
Craig.
got pushed back indefinitely for the next year or so. Um,
Until
this
it's
game's in
forgotten
development
about.
hell, huh? When
Yeah,
is
dude.
this game ever coming out?
No. If I were 343 and or Microsoft, I would just keep delaying it until people forgot that you had it, and then just start over from scratch at this point. Whatever they did,
So
I'm sure it looked fine, and I'm sure it was a thing, but whatever's wrong with it is got to be bad, because that's a project you attach your name to, and I tell you this, you don't just jump off those projects for nothing, and that is a major indication that this thing is somewhere in the neighborhood of fucked.
so well, and they've already like months ago was like leaked that they've already dumped over $500 million into this game,
Yeah,
and that number's only going up from there.
yeah.
And then,
Cut it.
I mean, by the time they actually get it out the door, and and then add another couple $100 million with their marketing budget for this fucking thing, not quite that much, I'm sure, but like,
Oh,
It's
wow.
gonna have to be a
budgets are
lot
not cheap.
after all the press it's gotten.
right? Like, fucking A, man. Like,
Cut it.
they're gonna end up spending $1 billion on this game before it even comes out. They're
It's gonna
never
be
gonna
dog
make
shit.
up the money for it.
No, because it smells. This smells like a Destiny 1, right? Like
Yeah, it's a good.
like these guys have their idea, like the dev team, and then probably who did you throw a name in there? I don't. Yeah, we didn't have a name.
343?
forgot. Yeah, the dude. I don't remember his name. But
The guys.
they
name
probably
is
they all
familiar,
had their
yeah.
own idea for what the story should be and how it should tie in, all this other shit, and they probably put a lot of work into that. And then you had probably the Seagull crew coming in from Microsoft, shitting all over everything, especially after that gameplay demo. And I bet it's just a nightmare there now. You're gonna have those fun ones like our listeners out there, man. You have those Zoom calls where you got 25 people on them to try and do one thing, and there should be 3 people on the phone. How fun do you think
Well,
those meetings
and-
are right now? Why is the
And
guy
they got
from
up-
finance in here?
There's all these Halo nerds too that got up in arms about another controversy from last week about, I forget what they're branding them as, but like everything in Halo 5 as far as your character is going to have skins and probably armor sets, right? And everybody's like, oh, you could always change the color of your shit in Halo 4 and 5 and blah 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 blah, and the style of armor and all this other shit. And it's just like, you guys knew this was going to come to an end. Don't pretend you didn't. Don't act shocked and appalled that they're doing it with Halo 5 now. It's going to be the exact same bullshit. It's going to be the exact same system from the impression I get of it as they did with like Anthem, which I liked personally. At least the customization of your javelins, that was dope as fuck. So, but just don't act surprised at that. Come on.
The guy's name is Chris Lee, who's overseeing production. Reported on by Jason Schreier from Bloomberg, just to kind of,
Yes, thank you.
Yep.
For all the credits.
Yeah. So another story that we want to touch on here is Watchdog Legion, kind of one of the last big games, current gen coming out, although a lot of games across generation. Game appears to be ho-hum. Any interest from either you two on Watch Dogs Legion at all, or no? Did you guys play Watch Dogs or not really?
I did. I was in the same boat as Woods, so I bought and played the first one very heavily, and I did not go back for more because the reviews for that one, if I'm not mistaken, were also ho-hum. It was like,
The second
kinda
one was
played this
pretty
one
good.
Was it? Did you
Yeah.
play the
This
second one? I
one-
thought you said you didn't play it.
No, I didn't. I own it.
The Ultimate
But,
Edition.
Yeah, I do.
But I thought the reviews
I
on that
played the
were
original
that
Watch Dogs
it wasn't
for
great.
like probably 10, 15 hours, and then got bored with it and put it down. But I heard the second one was way better than the first, and I've always thought about jumping in. But this third one, bricking consoles and heating up the Xbox to the point of danger. Will
Oh my
Robinson.
God.
Yeah, be careful, all you Xbox One X owners out there. I mean, allegedly a patch has been pushed since, but
God
apparently
fucking
it's
will.
overheating the consoles quite a bit. So, yeah, Metacritic's kind of got this game at about a 72. IGN gave it about an 8. This game's gonna get eaten up with the new consoles and games dropping. I don't have a whole lot of desire to hop in there at all and play any of these games. Play that game, but yeah. So in case you're interested in the old Watch Dogs Legion, it's out now.
Yeah, I think they should have went like the Saints Row with it. It's the feel comes off way too much like poor man's GTA, like because you're driving cars around and shit sometimes and you're doing different things, but like it's not quite as fun as that. And so like if they would have went maybe the more silly route or something like that, where Saints Row kind of made that niche for itself, I think it's the phone just doesn't cut it as that niche in there.
The new one really intrigued me because of its like thing where like every NPC is a playable character.
Right.
Effectively. Like you recruit them and they all have their own lives
Skill sets and shit. Yeah.
abilities and shit. And so that is intriguing, but apparently it's a gimmick that isn't like. I mean, it's work. It works, but it's like I guess in some ways not what people were thinking or hoping it was going to be, which is always the case when you try something like that. But I don't know, man. I'll probably give it a try in the future.
I'll get it on sale.
I wanted to just go back to that Halo story real quick because
I
forgot to mention something about the skins. So like this whole like controversy with the skins and the colors and everything for Halo was spoiled via Monster energy drinks because Xbox has had, I guess, Xbox had all these deals in place for like bags of Doritos and Monster energy drinks because you get a code on them and then it unlocks whatever fucking color or armor set for the fucking game. So that's how this shit was.
That's kind of sweet.
But these products are like out like nowish, and because the game was supposed to be out nowish.
Yeah.
Oops.
Halo Infinite monster drink, but we don't know when the game's coming out. Maybe a year from now. So
just keep all these aluminum cans.
I was just about to say, if that shit gets canceled, someone should just go buy a case and just put that bastard in the garage, because that's that stupid shit that sells for $1,000 someday. It'd be like, oh man, I have the Halo Infinite monster can for a game that never came out.
Yeah, I think would always tend to spoil that shit. Doritos, you mentioned, is always notorious for that kind of thing. So, so a little heads up, another PSA for you guys out there. PlayStation Plus lineup has been announced for November. Middle Earth Shadow War, Hollow Knight, and the first PS5 quote free game is Bugsnax. Shout out our friend Ryan. He kind of guessed that one.
Fucking loves Bugsnax.
What do you guys think about it? What about? He does. Well, I mean, look at him, man.
Guy.
That fucking guy. What do you guys think about the next month's lineup, or this month's lineup? I guess. Any excitement there?
Let's see. I haven't played a Lord of the Rings game, but that'll be cool to jump in for a while. I thought someone was talking good about Hollow Knight, so I was pretty stoked about that as well.
Yeah.
Was that you, Siege?
All those games are pretty good. And I like all those games are pretty good. And I don't own Hollow Knight. I do own Shadow of War, but that's okay. I haven't played it, so shockingly enough. But yeah, Bugsnax apparently got really good reviews, and it's like a game that's great that you can play with your kids or maybe your wife you can get into. So, yeah, awesome. I like the fact that you get a PS5 game the first month that the PS5 is out for your PlayStation Plus subscription.
That is a good idea.
Good fucking move.
Yep, exactly.
Hey,
When
Sony, sorry about that fuck you before. I didn't.
No, man, they earned it. They
You
get
came
that
back
one
around.
and the pat on the back. We don't hold back at
You're
Raw
right.
Cuts
No
Gaming.
takebacks. Fuck
That's
you.
right. That's right. On that issue. Fuck yourself,
So
Sony.
when PlayStation 4 came out, Resogun was a free game the first month, and then the second month they did not have a free PlayStation 4 game, and then it was until a month or two later until they came back around with the PS5. So I'm assuming something similar is going to happen this generation.
Yeah, probably. They may have a bigger indie pool to pull from though, so you never know.
That's true. Or like a PS5 version of a PS4 game or some
And
shit.
that's kind of what I was thinking that they might do. But even those cross-gen games or whatever, a lot of those are probably going to be released too close to the deadline. I mean, maybe they surprise us. Maybe they surprise us.
Well, so a surprise is they did add to the PlayStation Plus collection. I'm a little surprised they didn't have this in there right off the jump, but they added the Insane Trilogy, Crash Bandicoot, and COD Zombies. So
Nice.
I think this might be one of those things where they, PSA as always go on and claim as many games as they'll give you. They come. I think the PlayStation Plus games will kind of come and go. I think there's some games that will be added throughout time. So go on, claim all your 20 free games. But now you also get the Bandicoot and some COD Zombies for all you COD players out there. So
Nice.
snap those bad boys up while you can. So that kind of does it for the news for the week. So, Troker, I want to touch on Spider-Man because I touched on it. I did snap up Miles Morales. I'm being stoked for, that. But I want to touch on Spider-Man because this is one of the better trophy lists. I know that D, you have the platinum in this game.
I do.
Correct.
Yeah, that might be my one platinum.
It's a pretty easy platinum
Sure,
difficulty. It's got a 3 out of 10 on PSN profiles. It takes about one playthrough of 25 hours, which is always positive. The PS5 is getting its own version of the game. Now, you have to buy the Miles Morales Ultimate Edition to get the PS5 version. They're claiming they're not going to put this game out there for sale standalone, but I don't believe them on that. But it's going to have its own new trophy set, so if you want to go through and you can try to platinum it again, it'll be interesting to see if they have different trophies than what's on the PlayStation 4. A lot of the trophies are collectibles and story related, so it'll be interesting to see how they go about changing trophy lists up. But time will tell. Next week we'll find out what that trophy list looks like. But some highlights with this trophy list is there's no difficulty related trophies. And they do have some like time trial trophies. You have to go through and do some Taskmaster trophies. You have to like do certain things within a certain time frame. But you don't have to get like the top level of those time related trophies. You can get like the second highest level on there and everything. So if you're not good at time trial things, which I'm not, you're not shit out of luck there.
Well, and there was a lot of like marky shit too. So like the one that I think took the most time for me was the stupid picture thing. So but what's awesome about the time we live in is by the time you just Google that bastard, there's people have made websites where like they've got the dots all over the map and you click on them and it shows you like where to go. Like it's just
exactly
it's
right.
crazy.
Yeah. So So that the landmark trophy is actually one I thought was kind of cool because it's called sightseeing and you go around to like 25 landmarks and it's actual landmarks around New York City.
Yeah, that part was cool.
So you go to like the Empire State, you go to like Madison Square Garden. They have
Hell's
like the
Kitchen.
Hell's Kitchen. They have like the Ghostbusters. Not that, but like Ghostbusters places there. Some cool landmark trophies where you go take selfies. Another trophy they have is for collecting all of the outfits. So the outfits are one of the coolest things in the game. One of the other cooler features in the game is they have so many different outfits in this game. You can be, the comic-y Spider-Man. You can be the Iron Spider-Man from Avengers. You can be crazy Spider-Mans with like white and blue and stuff. And which outfit did you go with for the most part, D?
Oh my god! No man, I kept rotating. Like
me too.
one of the so I won't. Well, that game's been out forever, but basically the order in which you unlock them, they did a very, very, very nice job of making them progressively cooler as you went up. Like, I bet there were one or two ones where I was like, meh, but other than that, it was like, man, I can't wait to get like 5 more levels because then I got, like you said, I got white suit Spider-Man, and then like I can see I see Iron Spider in there, so then it was like, I better keep going with this shit because I want to get those cool
You want to be all
Avengers.
shiny.
Oh,
Yeah,
dude, the
shine
costumes in
out.
that game that was one of the best parts of that game, man.
And
They did a
I
real
always
nice job with
love-
that.
I always love when they throw in like in a realistic looking game, or the realism art style or whatever, right? When they throw in the animated series cartoon skin,
Right.
so then
that was
you
a
look
cool
like
one.
totally out of place, but it's still
jarring
so cool.
to see.
Right. Speaking of which, for more Spider-Man Miles Morales, they showed off the Into the Spider-Verse costume,
So cool.
which
Nice.
looks dope, and it has like the bam pow like
Yeah.
comic book bullshit like that goes down, and that's gonna be dope as fuck.
My kid recently started watching Into the Spider-Verse, and she's been all about that movie. So I'm like so excited to show her that game on the giant
Jake
TV
loved that
downstairs
movie.
when
Yep.
it comes in. So, yeah. And then the other cool trophy I wanted to touch. I mean, there's plenty of cool trophies in this game. I love this trophy list. Like I mentioned, it's an easy platinum. D, so all through to the end. About town. You walk around town, you high five citizens. You have to high five 10 citizens. So you push square to kind of greet them, and then you can push triangle to high five them. And it's just kind of a callback to being your neighborhood Spider-Man. It's kind of this like neat little, thing they had in there. So
I agree.
yeah. So Spider-Man, I give that trophy list glowing remarks. PlayStation does a pretty good job on their first-party games of making platinums very attainable and rewarding, and this is definitely one of them.
Well, it was that, and then I don't know how many times do you run into a platinum that's more or less enjoyable to accomplish. Like that can't happen very often. Like you've covered, like a lot of it's like a pain in my ass.
Yeah.
It happens where it doesn't necessarily happen organically, but it happens mostly organically.
Yeah.
My first, the only real time that's ever really happened for me has been my first one, The Order 1886. I just played through that game. It's a very easy platinum, short
It
game.
was.
But I just was, I thoroughly went through that game when I played it. And also at the end, I popped that platinum organically. And I got like I mentioned before, I got the wallpaper or whatever in an email from them, which set me down a path of trophy hunting. But a lot of times it's just grind of going on YouTube videos or popping up these new tutorials. It's going to be on PS5. We'll see how much that's going to get used. But walkthroughs and things to find all the cosmetics and the collectibles and all that shit. So it's pretty rare that you get them organically like that. But this one, you can get pretty damn close in Spider-Man. A lot of, you have to complete all the outposts, complete every burrow, which takes a while. It's quite grindy if you save that to the end. So just try to play through that as best you can in playing through the game. But yeah, it's a very fun platinum. So, all right, Woodsy. Now, to kind of wrap things up here, your pile o' shame. Did you want to get into more about Sniper Elite 3, or are we just kind of?
I'll chat on it just for a sec. One of the things I love about this game, that I was kind of getting into, if you've ever played any of the Sniper Elite games, is like I said, I have played a little bit. It plays like an early generation, late generation PS3, early generation PS4 game. Graphically, it's still just fine. But one of the coolest things about it is it's kind of like Splinter Cell meets Call of Duty meets a sniper simulator in a weird way. And it takes place during World War II, and Sniper Elite 3 specifically takes place, at least so far, in the Northern African campaign of the war, which is kind of cool because that is not often touched on in a lot of World War II games. But nonetheless, the best part about it for everybody who plays it is the long-range shots where you hold your breath, go into bullet time, and then you pull the trigger, and if you're going to hit your mark, it slows down time and it follows the path of the bullet all the way through its trajectory, and then you get to watch it go through the binocular eyeglass goggle, and then all of a sudden it becomes like a 3D x-ray of it going slow-mo through this guy's eyeball, exploding the eyeball into the skull, and then exploding out of the back of the skull. And I have to say, shooting Nazis in that fashion never gets old.
Yes. Perfect.
So I will be doing a live stream of it later this week. like I said earlier. So stay tuned for that. Other than that, it looks like I'll probably be adding to my pile of shame again this week, but I'll discuss that once that transaction has gone through. So
Yes.
there we are.
Excellent. Well, that's exciting to hear. I can't wait to hear what you add to the pile of shame. It's always a highlight for me to hear. But that concludes our 16th episode of the Raw Cuts Gaming Podcast. Thanks to you, our listener, for putting up with our stupid jokes, our juicy and rare uncut takes, and all things video games. We hope you join us each and every week for more Raw Cuts. If you'd like to be a part of the conversation or tell us how much you hate us, we encourage you to reach out to us on Twitter at Raw Cuts Gaming. If you'd like to watch a podcast recording we touched on earlier, check us out the YouTube, Raw Cuts Gaming channel. And, you know where to email us at. And what to email us. rawcutsgaming@gmail.com.
Send it.
Big D, if people want to get a hold of you directly, where can people find you?
You can find me at NakedGamer84 on the Twitter machine with the bird, and you can find me at noob_NakedGamer on Twitch.
Woodsy, if people want to find your hot takes, your Twitter beef makes...
Just leave them
where
alone.
can find you?
Leave them alone.
You can find me at Woods_or_Wads with a Z at Twitter. And we are recording on Monday, November the 2nd. The election is tomorrow.
All right,
Time
go
we
vote.
post this video. Get your ass out there and vote for Ryan, who may listen to this.
Yeah, Ryan. Especially
Ryan.
you,
Vote.
bastard.
Better fucking vote, Ryan.
Yeah, and if people want to find your resident trophy hunting host, you can find me on the Twitters at CJ Reindl. Go vote, everyone.
Hey, Ryan, vote or die, bitch.
Vote or die.
Everyone
Ryan.
find What Up McNutty on Twitter and send him a picture of your balls.
And vote in Woods' next pile of shame. If you guys are not voting, vote for Woods' pile of shame.
No more ties. No more fucking ties.
Thank you all. We look.
It was a miracle. To be fair, it's a miracle that we tied with over 3 million votes talent.
It's true. It's really odd.
Russian votes that came flooding in.
It's a bunch of bots. Wrong vote.
It's the sex bots. Are the only people that follow Woods on Twitter.
Hello, sexy man
With
from
that,
America.
with their episodes. Take care, everyone.
Peace.